What is going on, peeps? What is going on? It's just me, Valerie's Naturals, aka Valerie's Naturals Oracles. And I thought I'm going to do something a bit different. I know I've been away. I know I shouldn't have done it and I should get myself into a schedule. It's difficult with this heat, though. At the moment, it's just like this UK weather, as English, we love to talk about the weather, okay? But this weather's absolutely crazy today. It's really muggy, but it looks like where I live in Blackpool, it looks like it's going to thunder and rain and come down. But they reckoned it wasn't going to happen till at least Saturday. So I'm a bit disappointed because I was going to go out after this, but let's hope it's okay. But anyway, I should really introduce myself. I haven't done that really, have I? Well, I've had this channel for a while, but I stopped using it for a while. I mean, I went to tarot. I did tarot, but I've deleted all the tarot off of this channel. But let me introduce myself. As you probably guessed by now, my name is Valerie. And I'm really big on budgeting, and I have been for years, but I just never recorded it. I'm really big on traveling. I'm really big on tarot. I have another channel and it's called Valerie's Naturals Oracles, and I do tarot over there. But do you know, I'm not just a tarot reader. I am so into budgeting and investing, and to that end, I have a whole investment portfolio. I have all sorts of stuff going on, which I talk about on my Patreon. I don't necessarily talk about here because some of it goes deep and it's a bit personal. And it talks about my funds, what I do with them, and big things is going in at the moment. Big things is going in, people. But I say all that to say, I am a tarot reader. I am a budgeter. I am an investor. I'm all those things. I love to travel. I even like biking. I have. I used to have at least. I had 3 bikes at one point, but now I'm down to one. But I'm thinking about getting an electric bike, so that'll be interesting. I'm thinking about it, but first I've got to get through some stuff. So I thought today I'll do my final check-in for this pay period, as they call, because I'm going to do 2 in 1. I'm going to close down the current period and then go into the new because the new's already started for me. I get money in later on in the month. I don't get it like the first. I get it later on. So I budget according to when I got it. So we're still in May, but we're closing out May. And well, I say a lot of things happen, but let's go into it, people. Let's go into it. So I'm looking at May's budget at the moment. If you can see the tab at the bottom, we're looking at May, and I want to close this one out. So basically, with this one, and I've got my books here. I've got my books here, and it will more go into detail as to what's going down. So the emergency fund, for example, stayed at 800. So I'm just going through my book at the moment, and I'll tell you exactly what the hell's going down. And I know it seems a little muddled because I forgot to put my glasses on. I don't want my glasses on, but I'm doing this live to myself, so I'm not editing. I'm not doing any of that. So what you get is what you get, collective. What you get is what you get, peep. So I'm going through my books. I've got these books here, as you know, my budgeting books. And I'm just going to let you know what the hell's going on. And then we're moving to June's paid period. So with the emergency fund, okay, I had to take money out. And I'll explain why I had to take money. I had £910 in my emergency fund. I was like 1,000 off. This month would have been 1,000. I would have stopped right there and flung some money up to my investments or whatever, or other things, or continued on. But I've got debt as well. So I would have probably have gotten to the 1,000 and started filling money at the debt next month. But I had to take some out because there's a big old fiasco with National Grid. If you don't know, they was giving away extra shares to people that already had shares, and I took up the offer. But I thought I'm going to repeat it to people, or I'm just going to take it from somewhere I know I can put it back. So I took it from the emergency fund. So I took out £100 from our emergency fund, and I got an extra. How many shares did I get? I think I got an extra 14 shares, which which actually brought down my percentage, which put me over the top. So even though they're in free fall, and I call it free fall, but They have recovered slightly. They're still in the minus. Even though they're in the minus, because I've got the extra shares, it still looks like a profit for me at the moment. But if it drops below a certain level, then yeah, I would have been in the minus with that. But anyway, that's another story. If you want to know what's going on with my investments, because I've added like I've actually sold some and made profits and then bought new ones, but I've never actually taken the money out. I've reinvested it basically, and it's actually bumped up my savings. So, if you want to look at it this way, some people look at it like this: the amount of I'm going to say I've even gotten dividends back, so it's passive income. So the amount of passive income I've got is I could buy myself a cup of tea for a day at the moment. So end of this month would be 6 months of investing properly. So from January till now is 6 months. I've done a whole breakdown of what I've bought, what I've sold for the last. I'm keeping a record of it, what dividends I got, how much I paid, and I've hardly put anything into the fund. But because already I've realized a lot of profit, I've actually sold shares because I'm looking for dividends. Dividends is the passive income. The passive income is where you could live off of it and still keep your investments there, basically. But what I'm doing at the moment is reinvesting it. So, so what I have to say, if you wanted to get deep and dirty and get down with the get down, come and join me over on Patreon. It's just me, Valerie's Naturals on Patreon. Do you know I've got a book club going on over there as well? I'm reading Atomic Habits. I should have nearly finished by now, but I had to stop for a bit because life is life in. So I've been out and about and stuff like that. So you know, some of that this month's May's budget, I actually transferred over to what I call one of my accounts that I use for spending, and so it's not sitting there. And I used that because I went away to Lincoln with my girlfriend just for a couple of days, but we had a good old time. Lincoln's really actually a surprising place. But anyway, I say all that to say I went off on a tangent there, but I say all that to say I took this £100 out of my actual emergency fund. So now it's actually down to 800. So this, the next coming pay period where I'm going to talk about that is it will be up to 900 again. So let's move on from that. So I got savings. Okay, and I've added the savings onto that, obviously. So that's kind of the same. I haven't done anything with that. There's not a lot happening here, really. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I took £100 out of my emergency and put it on there. So now I've actually put in to the investments 150 now. So that's at 150. So I've got debt. I paid off. I think so far I've paid off 400, but obviously that added interest now because I didn't pay the full amount. So that's a new balance, but we'll see that in June, and I'll talk about that in June. Okay. So I'm gonna go get to that. I don't want this to drag on too long. Then I've got the penny savings. It's 119 something now. Okay. And that's kind of caught up to June. So June 20th, okay, I would have, because if you're doing it on a day by day basis, you should be on June. As of the 20th of June, which is not today, that's where your savings should have been if you're doing the penny saving challenge, because it does it day by day if you didn't know. But what I've been doing lately is just been putting chunks on there. And that's it, because I'm trying to pay off what I shouldn't have spent. What for some people it's not a lot. Okay, it's just that I owe now. It was 4,000. It was almost 1,500. I've paid off 400 of that already in 1 month. I had extra money, I threw at it, and this, that, and the other. And I strongly believe in not having debt. Don't want debt. Don't believe in it. So every spare money I have, and maybe I'll talk about that on my Patreon. Do you know the passive incomes and all that? Do you know what I mean? The incomes, the side gigs, whatever I make, I've been throwing it at it so I can clear that debt, so I can move on and use that money for something else. Because there's bits and pieces I want to get, there's things I want to do, and whatever. So I say all that to say I have been doing the penny saving challenge, but I want to go on to 10,000. You know the 10,000 challenge where you got the envelopes. Okay, so that's that book. What else have I got here? Yeah, so I haven't started that yet, but I'm waiting to pay off that debt. So what's in this book? Let's have a look. I've got this one out now. I'm just trying to close off May so we can get into June. Okay, so oh, the shopping was a fiasco. If you see some of the videos where I've done the shopping where I shouldn't have done, so I thought I'd experiment. I experimented in the May pay period, and I thought, let me go to Farm Foods, let me go to Aldi, let me go to Tesco, and I only gave myself £100 budget, and I overspent, obviously. This month I've already done a Tesco online shop, so and I spent £60. I'm only giving myself £100 because it's just me, okay, and I'm vegan, so I don't go my way to. Sometimes veganism can be expensive, but I always try and do an equal thing. Make sure I've got protein on my plate. Make sure I've got veg, or maybe I've got carbohydrate. Anytime other than that, and I know what sources of where to get my vegan. So as a result, I say all that to say it doesn't cost me as much as it should do for some people. If you're buying all those chunks of meat, a kilo of chicken is what, £5, £6. If you go and buy it cheap, more if you go somewhere more expensive. If you go to Aldi, it's like £6. Do you know what I mean for a kilo of chicken, whatever? But um, I might every now and then buy some fake chicken, but that's not going to cost me nowhere near chicken would do. And I just substitute it and add bits on with veg and all that. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I say all that to say I overspent. I overspent. The budget was so in danger, so much so that what I had to do was rob Peter to pay Paul. So I had some reserves. I did have some reserves what I transferred some of my money into anyway. So I kind of, but after that I stopped spending. I was a good girl and I stopped spending. So anyway, so the personal budget, as I said previously, I've got to think about Amazon. I should stop it. I've got to think about Amazon, and I spent 70 odd quid on Amazon. It was things that I needed though, like I needed a new duster because them spiders are doing their thing. The webs. I had to go and get. I bought a whole duster set, amongst other things. Okay, and then what I had left from my personal, because this month I allocated 150 because I was going away. So I what was left I put over into my prepaid card where I do my spending. So it's all in one place, so I know what I spent it on, and I still went over budget because I made the mistake of bringing my card with me, and there we went into this place. I don't know if you know that shop, Romans. Romans. It's a little bit more for the mature lady, a little bit more for the, but not so much. You can find the odd thing in there, but they had this £80 coat going for £20, and even on the website, okay, the same coat, even though they're saying they reduced it, they only reduced it to £40. But in the shop, it was going for 20 because they didn't want to send it. Apparently, the manager was saying they didn't want to send it back to the warehouse. So I got it for 20 quid. So I lugged it all the way from Lincoln. Big old heavy coat it was, but I just thought I'm gonna buy it now because it's such a bargain from £80 to 20. And it's on the website. It's a royal blue as well. It's like one of those teddy type coats, but it's extra warm. And it was a struggle to bring it back with me with my luggage, but I did it. So I did. I overspent there. And what else did I buy? There was something else I bought. I used my credit card. Yeah, I did. I used my card to eat. Where did we go to? Wagamama's. Wagamama. You know, Wagamama. It's that chain. That is it. Thai food. Thai chain. Weren't impressed, to be honest. The food that I bought that day, I wasn't impressed, and I don't usually go for it. I thought I'm going to try something different, but I should have stuck to what I normally get in Wagamama's. Mamas. Wagamama's. I even went to this place where they do a vegan breakfast. And if you go over to Just Me Valerie's Naturals on TikTok, I did a whole, when you do the picture carousel where I showed the vegan breakfast. And I'll tell you what, the vegan bacon, I got to find it because the vegan bacon actually tasted like bacon. I was really surprised. They say going vegan is not about replacing it, but do you know what? Sometimes you just have a treat, and you did that. It was like with waffles, and it had the sausage and mushrooms and bacon and all that kind of stuff, and it was a good little vegan breakfast. I enjoyed it, so I had one of those one morning. But yeah. Anyway, I overspent. Needless to say, I overspent, and I because I got two credit cards and one I actually used in John Lewis, as you know, if you keep it up with me, all the electronics I bought, but my computer broke down, and so I had to get another computer. So all these things that are broken down all at once, I might as well just exchange them and just bear the brunt. Now the question is, and I'd love to hear your comments. And I know I'm rambling, I'm sorry, but I do that a lot. But the question is now, should I take my emergency money and pay off the debt because I could clear most of it with my emergency money, or do I keep it to the thousand and then start throwing the debt afterwards? Because the credit card I actually use, I didn't realize, and they sent me a notification saying they are putting the rates up. And it's a crazy rate. It's like almost 40%. And when I looked at it, I thought, you gotta be joking. So, in my circumstances, would you, bearing that in mind, they're putting it up at the end of July. Okay, bearing that in mind, would you just use the emergency money, which will have £900 in there? The debt is just over 1,000, but they've added interest already. So I think it's at the moment, I think it's 1084, which I'm gonna check and do the June situation because I'm trying to do them both together, but I'm rambling too much, so it might not happen. But yeah, I overspent basically. And so let's move on from that because I hate talking about that. But so I say all that to say I was on personal. That's spent. That's gone. We're closing down May, so I'm trying to go through this now. Didn't get any clothes. Birthday money we'll talk about because I added £20, so that made it 160. But that's changed since because we've gone into a new pay period. So that's 160 on there. I did 20 quid at the time. Christmas money, there's £160 there. So I'm gonna have to be writing for June. So we're gonna go over to June. The travel was travel. I usually put £20 just for everyday travel because we have an app here in Blackpool where you just put £20 worth of bus tickets on there, and most of the things that I need is walking distance. So I only use 20 quid, and sometimes I don't even use it. So it'll roll over to the next time. But holidays, I put £50 in, and that's automated on my system. So as you can see, I'm closing down May. So let's go into the new pay period. Okay, so let's go over there. I just need to go over to the actual thing and change it to May. So I'm if please forgive me if I'm not looking at the screen, but I'm looking at my spreadsheet. Okay, it's a normal spreadsheet that I've just made up. So we're into June now. So what I got for June for my sinking funds is it says here £611. Okay, and I've got £3.28 random sitting there. But what's happened is I've now my holiday fund, if I go there, okay, I've added £50. So I need to change that to 1,500. Okay. I didn't add anything into the investments this time. And I'll tell you why. Because people, I've sold some of my shares because the investment is called, I call it investment, but it's really stocks and shares. So it's got its own little thing, and savings has got its own little thing. And so I didn't put anything in there because I've realized some serious profit just in 6 months. It's crazy. Do you know, it's crazy. And I'm currently at a yield. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please forgive me, but it's all on my Patreon. I'm actually currently between, is it seven? It fluctuates between 7 to 10% yield on my total investments as of the 26th of June. I'm doing this on the 26th of June, but my pay period starts for June on the 20th, basically. But so this is past stuff I've done. So I didn't put anything in the investments. I'm rambling. I put £50 in the savings. So that will be £100. Let's change that. And then emergency fund will be up to 900. Okay, so let's change that. 900. Food, I gave myself £70. Sorry, £100. I've already spent 60, but we'll talk about that. Because what I normally do is do a Tesco shop online, have it delivered, the heavier stuff, and then I go and buy my fruit and veg. but I realized I had stuff left over, and I've got so much stuff in the freezer. I've got to start using the freezer stuff, and most of it is frozen veg. So I can make some serious stir fries. I can make some serious stuff because that's it basically. So I'm gonna be good because in actual fact, I 20th was my day, and then the Thursday. This is last week. Yeah. So the Friday, no, the Saturday I had a delivery from Tesco. Okay, and I do the Flexi Tesco. I'm not paying no more than £2 for delivery, which is crazy in itself. Because for you to take a bus in Blackpool is £2 just to go one way. So for them to deliver it for 150 is fantastic. Just do Flexi on Tesco. Top tip, people, top tip. So anyway, I've spent £60 of that already. I've added to the travel fund, but I did use it. I did use the previous one. So it is back to 20. I added 20, but what's happened is I've added, so it's 180. But sorry, no, it's not 108, but it's one of my grandkids' birthday, so I sent them £100, so that's back down to 80 now. Okay, so the Christmas money, which is like money that I give away for Christmas presents, because teenagers just don't want any and anything anymore, do they? So I've got 180 in there now. So I'm back down to £80 for the Christmas money. Originally, I was putting £40 a month in there, but because I've now accumulated this debt, I'm trying to fling as much money at it as possible. So I'm not putting anything in clothing because I don't need it. I'm not putting anything in there because I'm a stockpiler. I call it doomsday prepping. Another thing I'm doing, and I might talk about it, is getting a whole camping situation together because you never know. So I've started with I've started with a lighting situation that you can wind up, and it's also solar, but you can also charge it via a USB. So I've started with that. Okay. The next thing will be the radio. And I'm thinking about getting the portable chair. I left some portable chairs in Jamaica, but that's another story. I should do a dump for that because I've still got let me know in the comments if you want to see the dump of Jamaica because I came back in December, but I had a whole thing that I just didn't put up and it's still sitting there on my camera. And so let me know if you want me to do that. But yeah, I say all that to say shut up, Val, because you ramble. It's my age, isn't it? I'm gonna be 60 this year, people. So please forgive me if I ramble. But electronics, I'm not doing at the moment because I'm throwing money at debt. Takeaway, I'm not doing because if I fancy a takeaway, I make a fake away at home. So I do fake aways. Like stir fried. I love Chinese fried rice. So I make my own fried rice. I make my own spring rolls. I make Chinese stir fries, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm into Thai as well. I love a Thai food. So I make Thai anyway. But personal spend, I'm giving myself £100 this month. And I've already spent 50 of it. So but we'll add that in. And then the debt, I'm throwing 120 at it this time. So at the moment it's at 1084 because I've already thrown at it £50. Okay. But because it's on direct debit, what I'm gonna do is save the rest. Well, not save it, it's in a holding pattern, but as soon as they take the money, I'll put it back in if that makes sense. Because I do digital. As I said before, I'm a digital budgeter, but I do write these things down so I remember where. So this is why these books are here, but I don't necessarily need them. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a digital planner. So I'm gonna throw no, it's another £70. So I've paid 50. I'm gonna fling another £70 at this. So it'll be just over the 1,000. But as I keep going, I keep flinging money at it. So because I really don't want this debt and they're putting the price up. But anyway, I'd love to do the 10,000 saving challenge. That's why I bought this in the first place. But and this is it. It breaks it down in this one. It's really good. But I can't do that at the moment because I want to pay off this debt. And so I thought, I've got to save something. So I've saved the £50 that I normally save because that's automated and the credit union is automated. But I thought, let me bring some money at the what do you call it? at my penny saving challenge. And why is that not updated? So I threw that at the penny saving challenge. So it should be at 1 4. It's 147 now. So it's at 147. I'll get the correct figure. 14778, I think it is. Yeah. So it's now at that thing. But what happens with that? It's like a snowball thing. It doesn't look like a lot now, but come September, that's where you're hitting the 300, 400 because it's £667. So here's the card. See, I'm doing the paper versions. I'm doing the paper versions. See, I updated it. See, I need to update my little thing here, my little tracker. I've got a manual tracker there. But, because I'm not really a one to have cash on me. So the odd bit of cash, I'll put it in. So there's only £2 in there. So I'm saving pound coins in there. And I've got another thing that I'm just putting pennies in that I happen to have, but it's not very often. So those are going to be taking a long time. But that is my budget. So we've opened June, we've spent money already. So I'm down to 40 quid with the shopping. I'm down to 50 quid with my personal spend. Those are the only two things that I really spend. Everything else is allocated out to certain things. And like I said, £100 went to my granddaughter. So that leaves £80. But the next £100 will be for me because it's my birthday in September. So I'm gonna treat myself to something which is 100 quid. Do you know what I fancy getting? And I don't do this very often, but they last forever. I bought some, not Calvin Klein. He's an English designer. I bought some glasses, £100 last time, and they lasted forever. Do you know? As long as you look after them, they last forever. But if you buy cheap glasses, it's like it don't matter, does it? I mean, I've got cheap glasses, I've got expensive glasses, but I do like a good glass. So I might treat myself to some sunglasses because I've got plans. I don't want to be here in the cold in the winter. It's lovely at the moment, so I'll stay in the UK. But you see, come October time, that's where you're going to see a lot of my vlogs, really. So I'm going to shut up now. That is the check-in and the close down and the open up for June. I'm going to shut up now, and that's enough from me. So I hope that made sense to you. Please like, comment, share, show your appreciation. Get down with it, get down. I've got my big face in the screen. Until next time, people. And let me know if you like this format or if you want to go back to not seeing my dulcet face. My face. Until next time, people. Take care.